Mountain Top Yard. Mountain Top Yard or Penobscot Yard is a rail yard in Mountain Top, Pennsylvania. It was built by the Lehigh Coal and Navigation Company LC&N in response to an 1837 bill authorizing a right-of-way, and was established by 1840 at least as a construction camp for the Ashley Plains in support of the construction of the Lehigh and Susquehanna Railroad trackage and operations to join the northern Anthracite Coal Region from barge loading docks along the Susquehanna above and below the navigations of the Pennsylvania Canal in Pittston in the Wyoming Valley with the Lehigh Canal. History. Penobscot Knob or Mount Penobscot, looming above the local terrain, was one of the last terrain obstacles to north-south travel, following after several barrier ranges in the Ridge and Valley Appalachians above the improvements to the Lehigh River, allowing water transport over 80 miles inland from Philadelphia's pose a barrier, therefore preventing west to east shipping of coal in the fading days of the canal era, but one in which railroad technology was leaping ahead year by year. LC&N, a high-tech company, a major corporation of the 1820s-1870s, had already built the Lehigh Canal and the country's second railroad, the Mulch Chunk and Summit Hill Railroad, to ship coal the 10 miles of gravity railroad to the loading facility above the head end of the improved navigation's Lehigh River and the Delaware Canal and Delaware River. The large yard and the purpose-built company town, Sayre, Pennsylvania, were founded as part of a planned program of expansion and extension to the young railroad's infrastructure. The yard was but one benchmark on the way to completing the goal of establishing competitive passenger rail service between New York City, as well as cities in Delaware such as Wilmington, cities in central New Jersey such as Trenton, and eastern Pennsylvania cities including Philadelphia with Chicago and other Great Lakes cities via Buffalo, New York. The Lehigh Valley was primarily first and foremost a coal road which transported high-grade anthracite to the big cities of the east and to steel mills along the Great Lakes and to the area in and around Chicago. The yard is a waypoint along the historic rail corridor that extends along the left bank Susquehanna River through the RBM Yard and Mountain Top Yards down along the route of the historic Lehigh Canal and across the Delaware at Easton, Pennsylvania. Late in 1871, the competing upstarts calling themselves the Lehigh Valley Railroad LV established themselves above and across the same pass in 1871 and extended that storied road to Sayre Yard, astride the state line between Waverly, New York and Sayre, Pennsylvania. Until its dismantlement under Conrail, the yard engine maintenance building had the largest structure in the United States devoted to the maintenance and construction of railroad locomotives. The yard was acquired by Reading Blue Mountain and Northern Railroad in 1996 during the dissolution of Conrail, which had acquired the property in 1976 when the Lehigh and Susquehanna Railroad joined its properties to that ill-fated conglomerate enterprise. Geography. Mountain Top, Pennsylvania, is a railroad town once named Penobscot, built beside the yard to house its employees and those of the nearby mines. The town is located at 41.1,353,022, minus 75.9,044,749 in the shadow of Mount Penobscot or Penobscot Knob, and is located in the saddle-shaped mountain pass atop the ridge line between the Susquehanna River Basin to the north and west and the Lehigh River Basin to the east and south, so sits astride an important land communications corridor bridging the two watersheds below. It is 8 miles northwest of Whitehaven at the head end of the Lehigh River Gorge and in the heights above Hazleton, Pennsylvania, 10 miles south of Wilkes-Barre on Pennsylvania Route 309. Consequently, even though regional railroads are much diminished in scope and influence, Mountain Top Yard, once used as a marshalling yard at the top of the Ashley Plains funicular cable-driven railway, is still an important regional element of the transportation infrastructure connecting Allentown and Philadelphia with points north and west via trackage to several yards in New York State. Mountain Top's yard was the upper terminal end of the historic Lehigh and Susquehanna Railroad's Ashley Plains funicular railways, first begun in 1837, which lifted freight over the steep climb from the Ashley neighborhood in Wilkes-Barre in sight of a large transfer yard bypassed by the former trackage of the Lehigh Valley Railroad and leased to the Central Railroad of New Jersey. Mountain Top is elevated at 1558 foot above sea level.